Nintendo's afraid to make a new system. And I'm sure, as we all know, it's called Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo. Now, I understand that you guys are probably intimidated by the Xbox Series S, the Xbox Series X, PS5. It's okay to be scared. You can actually work on a new system. And let's keep it pretty simple. For instance, let's go with Sony. Sony. PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3. You get it? There's a trend going on. You can keep it very simple and call it the Switch 2. You make a new system. God forbid you call it Nintendo Switch U. You better not do that. But furthermore, Nintendo is actually working on a new Nintendo console to try and compete with the Xbox Series X, S, and the PS5. So according to game reporter John Linneman, the Switch Pro at one point was a real Nintendo project before the company decided to kill it. It seems after some serious debate, Nintendo has ultimately decided to direct any effort it would have put into the Switch Pro towards the next-gen console. Sources also said that the next-gen console may indeed hit shelves within the next year or so. He did mention on Digital Foundry that Nintendo Switch 2 could come out 23 or 24. After the long-awaited Zelda sequel has already been released, the new console is expected to use NVIDIA T239 chip. As reported by one reliable leaker, and in particular it included new graphic features like ray tracing. The problem with Nintendo is they really try to do the bare minimum as when it comes to performance. The games run perfectly that are for Nintendo, and sometimes you'll have other issues, but you can't run AAA titles like Elden Ring, or you can't run Call of Duty. Now Nintendo, I understand that you guys are a little intimidated by the PS5 and the Xbox Series S, but let's be honest. I'll tell you what, this is how you bring in new players to a console if you put your all into it, okay? First off, we'll start right off the bat. We'll say this. Let's experiment with Unreal Engine 5. Bring Unreal Engine 5 over to Nintendo. Let's take Pokemon. Let's take Unreal Engine 5 and let's mash those together. Create hardware that can run this game. Let's say we have Pokemon. Not Rated M, possibly, but an open world Pokemon game using Unreal Engine 5, and let's have it more like Elden Ring, where Charizard is actually a dragon, and you actually have to take your Pokemon to the actual Pokemon Center. It's open world, where you can lose things, you can lose your items. Let's make it what it was intended to be. I get it's a child's game, but we can make it a man's game too. I mean, just imagine Pokemon. Rebrand the entire name. Pokemon. What are Pokemon? They're monsters, right? Huge open world game, just like Elden Ring. But at the same time, Nintendo, you need to get on the ball. You need to get the ball rolling. There are players that love you. There are people like me that love Mario. I love everything that Nintendo has done and is doing currently. But I think it's time for us to see something different. Let's get a new system going. We would love to see a brand new Nintendo system, and I'll tell you why. The reason is because you guys innovate really, really well. You guys came out with the Nintendo Wii. You had Xbox copy your idea. You had Sony copy your idea. You came out with the Nintendo Switch, a dedicated handheld system. It was both a dedicated system and a handheld system. Sony had the PSP. Xbox is just now putting everything on cloud so that you can play over Samsung TVs and you can play over different type of handheld versions. Nintendo, you've been around the longest. You know what to do. You know what you need to do. And I think it's about time that you did it. And let's see a Nintendo Switch 2 to keep it simple, or whatever you want to call it. But I'm actually kind of curious to see what you guys do because you guys never let us down. We just want some new hardware.